Welcome again. Let's explore another tremendous concept related to the virtualization industry, which is called vCenter server. So right now we are going to get the basic idea or basic concepts about the vCenter server. But before going to this, let's get an example. Right now here in front of you, I have here a few physical hosts which have a limited number of virtual machines implemented over here. And if I take the example of these hosts here, you can see that I have implemented number of virtual machines. So when I have done all the tasks, then on the daily basis, I need to configure, customize, and perform number of other tasks as per my own organizational requirements. So in these tasks, here you can see that I can perform number of administrative tasks, and I can also perform number of customization tasks over here. And one important thing, I need to monitor my virtualization infrastructure 24/7, and for that purpose I have HTML5 client. Here you can see that I have HTML5 client, and if I want to perform any kind of task on my physical host, I just need the IP address of that specific host. Then after connecting with the physical host, I will provide my username and password, and I'll be logging inside the virtualization infrastructure. And here I can perform number of tasks related to the compute resources or storage, networking, security, and all kinds of tasks related to the virtual machine deployment, customization, and snapshots. It's really simple for me if I have a few number of physical hosts as I discussed in this example, but it will be really difficult for me as this infrastructure is growing by time, and number of host machines have more than 5. It might be 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50. So in that case, it will be really difficult for me to connect, to make a session with each host individually, and then perform number of tasks. So for that, if I get example of enterprise network, let me clear this previous work over here. If I take the example of that kind of virtualization infrastructure, here you can see that I have number of physical hosts as well as the number of virtual machines implemented over here. So consider this example, and then use the traditional method of HTML5 client for all these hosts. So it will be really difficult for me. So in that scenario, now I need a separate server or a desktop machine where I can implement the vServer. Here you can see that I need to install this vCenter server over this separate machine. It might be a physical machine or it might be a virtual machine. So I just need to install this VmWare application, which is called vCenter server over here. And this machine, this application have the capability to connect all devices over here with a single user interface, which means that when you install vCenter server in your own infrastructure, it will provide you one window operation from where you can manage all these physical hosts and their virtual machines as well. So after the implementation of the vCenter server, you have a centralized management server where you can perform all kinds of tasks related to the virtualization industry. So that's why if you have a smaller virtualization network, so you can utilize the HTML5 client facility. But if your infrastructure have a large number of virtual machines and large number of physical hosts, so in that kind of scenario, you must have to implement the vCenter server. And in respect of the VMware competitor, if I talk about Microsoft, if I talk about the Microsoft, so Microsoft have also a comparative product with vCenter server, and Microsoft product in this scenario is called VMM, Virtual Machine Manager. So Microsoft is also providing a kind of application which is called Virtual Machine Manager, which provides you a single window operation or a central management center point of management, from where you can also manage all hypervisor host machines and their virtual machine infrastructure related to the Microsoft infrastructure. So you have two vendors, you have two major products. One is called vCenter server and other one is called virtual machine manager. If your infrastructure utilizing the VMware products, then you must have to go for vCenter server. And if you have Microsoft infrastructure of virtualization, so you need to deploy virtual machine manager. Although virtual machine manager also supports compatibility with vCenter server as well. So it's up to you, it's up to your job role and your organizational requirements. So I hope that you get the basic concept about the vCenter server and virtual machine manager utilization in the virtual world.